Hey.
Hey,
I thought you were waving at me.
if I was waving at you, I would do this.
Oh. Well, I was looking there, so
Okay.
hey.
Okay, go for it.
What do you want me to do? We're back.
Carl, Cindy.
Oh,
Hey guys, so today we want to talk about
we're talking about our market's needs.
right our market's needs, and we continuously try to hit on this in the videos, so you don't go, who are they and what are they here for? Peter Saddington, in the Bitcoin Pub. If you guys don't know what that is, I suggest you go there, especially if you have any little questions or confusion about just cryptocurrency in general or Bitcoin, all the FUD that the news is spreading right now, or that you're probably reading in your newspaper. That's pretty much designed to keep you guys away. So stay away and we'll keep buying, or really do your own research. Don't let these people do your research for you. But anyways, saying all that, Peter's thing that I constantly see him put or say is that he's here to serve. A lot of times in the pub, people will want interviews done or for him to look into something, and he's always willing to do those things. And we're his people or his audience, and he's willing to serve us or do what we ask of him. And we want to, and not only want to, but we will do the same with you guys in regards to our strong suits, which are, but not limited to, complaining about everything. And any therapeutic concerns or questions. Right? Give me something else.
Product review we talked about.
Yeah, we really want to do some product review. And we're going to start tagging a lot of that kind of stuff in our videos. So if you're a company out there and you have a new cushion or another piece of adaptive equipment that you want to get out there, reach out to us. We'll set it up and you guys can send it to us and we'll do a cool review. Whether it be bad or good or expensive or cheap, we want to do that. So we want to serve you guys and our community, and so you at least know it's there, so you're aware of it, and if it's good or bad or it's effective. What else you got?
Well, I'd like to do some article reviews. There's a lot of articles out circulating that get published in our field.
Right.
And
That's true.
Sometimes I think that they're good and relevant, sometimes not as much, but I think it's a good idea to kind of read over some of those and kind of just maybe speak from our experience. If we can, and no, maybe nobody cares what we think, but if we can agree or disagree one way or the other, because just because somebody writes it down and gets it published doesn't make it
right. It's number one, it didn't make it true. Number two, it doesn't always reach its audience. Right. We were just talking about an article we read about recesses in school. And so, like, when I was a kid, I remember going out, especially in elementary school. You would go out like mid-morning, after lunch, and then sometimes we'd go out like before we actually left to go home. And I think that's super important, and a number of reasons. Right. And tell me some of those reasons.
Well, we know that it's important.
Right.
It's very important, just because it's where you're able to kind of get up and move around and get some feedback, some sensory, just by running, swinging, jumping, climbing, hanging from monkey bars, and spinning on merry-go-rounds, which nobody has on their playgrounds anymore because they've been deemed dangerous. I think some places are starting to kind of reintegrate some of these things, but the point is they were there for a reason, we had a lot less issues in school way back in the day when we were in school, being able to do those things. So this article was really good about how your kids need to play outside. I think it was like, how many, 3 hours a day?
It was a lot, yeah. It was especially compared to what they get now, because everyone's attached to a phone or a tablet or some kind of computer game or something.
So it was very eye-opening, and I felt like we very much could connect with it. But also, I think sometimes in an article, if you can read it and you can kind of relate it to your current world or current practice, it makes so much more sense. And so then you can go and say, hey, I read this is what it says. I could not agree more, just from our experience.
Right.
So that was a really good recent article that we talked about, which we can get into more later. But I think it's good for us to kind of, I think it would be helpful if we could kind of share what we think about some of these articles with everyone.
I agree. So what's the benefit if your kids are out playing all the time? How are they supposed to learn? And so I think for some reason we've gotten to this odd situation where maybe as parents, but more so the teachers and the school, they want your kids to sit there for 6 hours and learn.
And
that's
be
impossible.
still and be quiet.
Right.
And that is impossible, because kids have to move, and they have to be able to kind of, the way that they organize their brain, so to speak, so that they can sit and listen, is to go outside or to go into an environment where they can move. Big movements,
right,
small movements, spinning movements. So if they're not getting that, they're not going to be able to sit,
right,
much less be still and be quiet, nor will they be able to learn.
So if your kid is constantly getting in trouble for like bouncing around the room or talking or being a disturbance to the rest of the class, there's probably a reason, and it's not because your child is dumb or a bad kid. They have sensory issues that they have to fulfill.
Every kid has sensory needs that have to be fulfilled.
They just don't know how to fulfill them in a correct way, in a correct manner, because they're children. So they're doing the best thing they know how to do. Something that I dealt with even through college is like I would always chew gum. And I would say also early on in practicing therapies, because I'm not naturally an extremely patient person when people are doing certain things. So if I could chew gum, it's like I could kind of relieve that anxiety. And so I hate the fact that they don't let kids chew gum. It's so ridiculous to me. Oh, you're putting it under the desk. Oh my God, that's so terrible. Gum under the desk. But look, they're able to stay calm and learn, sit still at their desk.
Yeah. A lot of teachers now, though, I think it's taken a while to kind of get back to this, but they're starting to understand the importance of incorporating movement into a kid's day. Obviously, PE is still there, but I'm not really sure how.
It's super limited. It's like once a week.
Yeah, well, and I'm not really sure.
Your kid only wants to move once a week or needs to move once a week.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure what is actually happening in a lot of PE classes that really are effective, but I know some teachers are allowing kids to be able to, if they need to sit in a chair that moves or rocks or whatever, or if they need to get up and move around, they're understanding that kids learn differently and kids have different needs, and so they're starting to really look at how they can bring some of that back into the classroom.
Right.
Because now we're seeing so many kids that have problems, learning difficulties that have, I think, stemmed from lack of movement and lack of being outside to play. So I think that was a great article, and I think that we'll probably delve into that more at some point.
I totally agree. So that's just a small example of some things that we want to and that we will talk about with you guys, because people need to be aware of these things. So, and just like Peter always says, and you're like, yeah, who's Peter? We're here to serve you guys. That's what we're passionate about, is helping.
Yeah, and I think the community that we're in at the moment, that's another thing we can, I think if you get people inspired, they can go to their schools and say, listen, it's going to take an act of Congress literally to get more recess back in school, because right now it's one. Right. It's either, maybe for younger kids there may be more than one, but for older kids it's right after lunch, and they get a recess after lunch, and if they don't eat fast, mm-hmm. It's like
a block.
11 to 11:45. You go to lunch at 11. If you get finished by 11:15, you have 30 minutes. If you get finished at 11:30, you have 15 minutes.
Right.
So, that's not necessarily a good thing. So
of course it's not. But they've moved it, and they've maneuvered and modified this so much that they're like, look, now the kids are in class so much longer, so that means they're going to learn more, and that's not true at all. It's super inefficient. It's a terrible way to go about it. And the unfortunate thing is, you have people that have these big degrees, but they don't know what the hell they're doing. They have a lot of abbreviations behind their name, but they're clueless. And so that's why it's super important for you guys to be aware, and not just assume that your kids are problem children or problematic or just want to be disruptive, because they don't. They want to learn. They don't want to get in trouble. I promise you, kids don't like to get in trouble. Most kids want to please their parents and please their teachers.
right.
Anyway.
Obviously, yes. So sometimes things are behavioral, so we're not just sweeping that under the rug. But a lot of times they can be connected to their body and the needs that they have to make sure that they're adequately prepared for learning in the classroom. So
right. So that's some more of what we want to work on with you guys, because we want to serve you, our community, the people that are clicking on these videos and commenting and on the comment section of the videos, like or dislike, or whatever you guys want to do, or share. If you've learned something from these videos, maybe you want to share them so someone else will learn something from the videos that maybe they were unaware of. So anyways, this is Carl and this is Cindy, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.